Okay, get ready to buckle your seatbelt, because in this video I'm going to scientifically prove how to manifest a text instantly from a specific person. This works like magic, and I'm going to show you the proof. So first, I just want to welcome you to the video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. If you're new, thanks for being here. If you're a returner, thanks for coming back. Smash the like button on this video if you're ready to learn the secrets of telepathy, and check out my free success hypnosis right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind. And what about this beautiful shot out here? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know what you think if you want to see more outdoor shots. Big idea number one, stop calling telepathy new age fairy dust. It's real. Scientifically, telepathy is defined as the communication of impressions of any kind from one mind to another, independently of recognized channels of sense. And since that kind of sounds like new age mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus, let me start this off with a quote from the Smithsonian Magazine. Smithsonian, the official journal published by the Institute of Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., where all the smart people are. And this is a direct quote from the research. Scientists prove that telepathic communication is within reach. So it's not just me saying it, and I'm going to give you a very powerful technique to do in just a minute. But first, let's backtrack to Duke University, one of the most prestigious universities in America. And there's a very famous individual, he was a professor named J.B. Rhine. And he was one of the first to do major studies on telepathy. So what he did was take a subject, put them in the Duke University library, and then he had a lab, the parapsychology lab at Duke. So he's in the lab, he puts the subject in the library, makes them face away so they're not cheating with special binoculars, and he gives them Zener cards, which all have different geometric shapes on them. And the individual is to tap into the collective unconscious mind and to predict what cards they're holding. Now, this is crazy. It's a statistical anomaly, but he actually ended up getting about 40% of every single one of the cards right out of over 1,000 attempts. Now, this is pretty mind-blowing, and it eventually led to the term you've maybe heard of. It's called ESP, extrasensory perception. Now, extrasensory perception was a term that J.B. Rhine invented after these studies that basically say extrasensory perception is you have your five senses, but then you have a sixth sense. The very first experience I ever had with that was when I was backpacking through Asia, and I actually fell. I was hiking in the rain on a little island called Lombok in Indonesia, and I saw my whole life flash before my eyes. I was just like an inch or two away from hitting my head, and I could have been dead in the middle of nowhere. Well, I wasn't gonna tell my mom what happened because it was really scary. But when I got back to my hotel, I already had all these messages from my mom. She was overcome by this feeling that something had happened to me. That's ESP. Okay, now that you know it's scientifically proven, let me tell you a crazy story so you know it works before I give you the technique. So Bob Proctor was my mentor and he was my hero. He's my favorite guy in the whole world. And he's the one that originally taught me about that J.B. Rhine study at Duke University that I was discussing earlier. So it was my birthday about 6 years ago, and I really wanted Bob Proctor to give me a call, give me some motivation and advice for my birthday. So here I am, I'm sitting in the car with my wife, Ashley, and I turned on a Bob Proctor audio seminar. So we listened to it on the Bluetooth speakers, and we're parked at the beach looking over the ocean. And I told Ashley that I was going to get on Bob's wavelength, and then I was gonna see if he would call me. So we're sitting there, we're drinking a cup of coffee, and we're listening to Bob, and I'm just getting on Bob's frequency. And I imagined that instead of listening to his seminar, it was actually him that was just talking to me. So I'm totally in this guy's energy field. So we're sitting there, we finish a cup of coffee, and then we start to drive to the gym. And some pretty crazy things happen. The seminar stops, the phone rings. We can clearly see on the screen Bob Proctor is calling me. I literally kid you not, my wife Ashley was there as a witness. On that drive, after doing that technique, I received a phone call from Bob Proctor. And I said, Bob, you're not gonna believe it. This is what I did. I just telepathically communicated with you. And he's like, very calmly, yes, Jake, I know I felt it. What's up? Well, it's my birthday today. And oh my gosh, we just telepathically communicated. And he's like, huh. That's the way ESP and telepathy actually works. You can communicate instantly and instantaneously because energy is never created or destroyed, and energy waves are transmitted instantly in the fourth dimension. Okay, so now it's time for the 3-step technique. And if you're wowed by this video, smash the like button on it. And it's important to follow these steps exactly. So step number 1 is to enter an imaginary scenario that would occur if you were actually communicating with the intended individual. So you want to see them. You want to see them calling you. You want to see them sending you a text message or some other traditional means of communication. Now, this is very important. You want to picture their faces and you want to see them very happy as they communicate with you, because we live in a reality of free will. So when you set the intention for it to be effective, then you're going to have stronger results if you see them happy, so you're not impeding on their own free will. Step number 2 is to hear their voice clearly. So I use that Bob Proctor seminar recording, so it would be an easy way for me to enter the spirit and vibration of that individual. So you can find an old audio recording, an old voicemail, or you can just use your imagination to hear their voice. So you want to picture the communication very clearly. You want to hear their voice. You want to feel the energy of their voice. Now, if you want, you could also do a practice where you and one of your friends watch this video, you get a recording of their audio, and you practice doing this technique and see if they can pick up on when you're trying to telepathically communicate with them. Now, step number 3 is super important. You want to imagine that you're actually getting goosebumps, or some people call them God bumps, as you listen to their voice. So imagine the sensation of goosebumps as you tell them, I was just thinking about you right before you contacted me. Step number 4 is once you effectively feel the energy, it's as if it's really happening. So you know the process is done. So you let go of it with a silent prayer of gratitude that the universe works in beautiful and mysterious ways. You might just say, thank you, universe, for the beauty and mystery. I know it's coming. So I'd love to feature your success story in a future video on this. Let me know in the comments right there down below. For some of you, it's gonna happen instantly. It's gonna happen quickly. I highly recommend you watch this video again back through so you totally grasp it and how to do it. If you enjoyed this video, smash a like button, subscribe, bell notification, check out my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com, right there down below. And remember, you aren't a physical body. You're a spiritual being in a physical body, and everything is energy, and energy is infinite and omnipresent in nature.